Hey there, everybody. This is Julie B. back in my office this week. Really happy to be here. Really happy to be back in the swing of things. This week, I have pretty much gotten back to work after taking, honestly, it was pretty much taking 4 weeks off, 3 weeks, which were unexpected, but I'm back at it. And hey, before I forget, if you would please subscribe to this YouTube channel. I know, sometimes you don't want to subscribe to things, but if you want to help me out a little bit, that actually does help quite a bit with what I'm trying to do. So just simply subscribing to the YouTube channel can really be a big help to me. So, anyways, let me get back to talking about my week. So this week has been it's been an interesting week. There's been a lot of things going on. I feel like I closed one chapter of dealing with some personal life stuff and then opened another chapter with my own family and my personal life over there. But I have been able to get back to work. And this week I put out a podcast that discusses the difference between achieving goals and success. And if you're a high achiever, I definitely recommend you listen to this podcast because it's a major realization that I've had, that success is not guaranteed if you're simply trying to achieve goals. So, said another way, achieving goals does not guarantee success. Success is something that comes from something internal. I don't even know how else to describe it. And I know achieving goals can help you get there and help, I guess, lay the foundation for having success. But if achieving goals is how you define success, it's really hard to feel successful. And the reason is most business owners, a lot of business owners are high achievers. And it's a good thing because it's something that drives us. But the downside to that is when you achieve a goal, what happens? There's always another goal, right? Like you write a book and then you get a book deal. And then the next goal is growing your social media presence and your audience so that when your book actually comes out, it sells, right? That's my real life example of what I'm talking about. And I've had this realization. It kind of hit me when I wrote the book, and I didn't have the words for it yet, but I've come up with the words for it, and it is that success is not reached through just straight up goal achievement. There has to be other things that make you feel successful. So, one of those things for me, those of you who know me know that I'm going through a pretty major transition in my businesses this year, and I had an interesting conversation with my coach today via email, which was funny that, now I'm recording this video, but I'm trying to transition, not necessarily all the way out of my social media agency, my marketing agency, but I don't want to be nearly as involved in it as I am. And the truth of the matter is I've struggled with this all year. I'm going from being known as a social media guru, which, I have feelings about that word, but it's true. I've been in the social media industry for over 14 years now, honestly, longer than that. I've been using social media for business since 2003, when I was using MySpace to help my boss at the time find new business. So anyways, long story short, I'm going through this transition of moving away from that, not totally away from it. I actually have kind of fallen in love again with social media, using it for myself, making videos like this. I'm active on TikTok. I'm active on Instagram. It's been a lot of fun for me to make content, but content for my own purpose. My job for the past 14 and a half years has in part been to make content for a lot of other businesses. And while I feel very blessed to have had those clients and have the success that we've had at Be Smart Social Media, this time has been coming for a while for me to make a transition. And I finally found the thing. And, I've done all this stuff this year. I've written a book. I've created all of this content. We have award-winning podcasts, and I'm still struggling. Things aren't clicking as quickly as I want them to. And I don't know why. I know consulting and coaching, and it's a hard business. Being an author, being a writer is a hard business. But every business is a hard business. Every business has something that's really hard about it. And I think I'm just going through that transition right now and figuring things out. I want it to happen faster, but it's not happening as quickly as I'd like it to. So I'm really excited to be here today, to have gotten through this week. And yes, I got through this week. There were some things that came up this week that were tough. But I'm just excited to be here sharing this with you, that, one of the key indicators that made me realize that I have achieved success and that I feel very successful about this year is that I have stopped being asked to be a speaker about social media. I used to be asked all the time to be a speaker about social media. And I haven't been asked, I think, since probably March of this year. And some of you may be thinking, well, you want to be a speaker, why not speak about social media? Exactly. I don't want to be known as the social media guru anymore. And that's why I turned down those engagements. So it's funny how leaving things behind sometimes helps you arrive at success. And that's exactly the example there. I'm leaving this mantle, this title of being really well known as the social media person. I'm still pretty good at it. Not going to discount that I still have the skills. I'm just using the skills for me now, mostly. But it's just an interesting place to be. And something I said to my employee this morning was that, I have the wisdom. I'm wise enough to know that I have these 3 options I'm kind of cycling through with all of this. And I'm wise enough to know that cycling through options is my process. But I have not yet learned how to go through that process more quickly. So even 2 years ago, I did not understand that about myself, that part of my process is usually having, 3 routes that I could go down and just thinking about them, and sometimes probably overthinking it, probably ruminating, probably worrying, definitely worrying. No, probably about that, definitely worrying. But I think it's really cool that I've gotten to a point where I'm wise enough to know that this is my process. So I have to let the process happen. So I'm cycling through these options of how to make this transition, but I have not figured out how to go through that process more quickly of cycling through those options and thinking through them and ruminating on them some. So I'm just kind of trying to appreciate the growth that I've had as an individual, the growth that I've had as a business owner, the wisdom that I've been able to reach thus far, but also recognizing that I don't even know everything about myself yet. And that's actually really exciting to me because it means that I have more growth. We always have more growth. I do look forward to the day where I make a video like this and I'm like, oh, I figured out how to go through this process more quickly now, finally. But I haven't gotten there yet. So, I have wisdom to know where I am, but I'm also wise enough to know that I don't know it all. And I still have quite a bit to learn about being a business owner, being a human, being all the things that I am. And also just understanding that success for me, I'm deeming it as a destination because you know what? I want to hang out there for a while. And I'm still working on defining what success looks like for me, but there have been things this year that have happened that definitely mean to me that I'm successful. And one of those things is that I've not been asked to speak about social media in quite a while. I don't want to be asked to speak about social media either. If you want me to speak about leadership or about culture or about burnout and business ownership, I am game. I'm down to do all of that. So hit me up if you want to do that. But I've arrived at a place as we are into the 4th quarter of this year. I can feel that I've arrived somewhere, and I don't think I'm all the way where I want to be, where I would call myself successful yet. I also think part of that is untangling goals and goal achievement from being my only definition of success. So I'm back at work. I'm super excited to be making this video. This is probably the most enthusiastic I've been all week. Thanks to Angie Stigall for engaging with me in some emails. And thanks, actually, I watched a live with Melissa Freilich earlier this week where she was talking about how she's accepting seasons as part of business. And it's funny, I accepted that a while ago, and it's just crazy how things happen, how impact happens. So Angie Stigall, who has been my coach, my mentor, I call her my friend now, for over a decade, she, I think, was the first one who really introduced seasons of business and seasons of life to me. And at that time, I hadn't really thought about how we go through these changes, much like our weather and our climate goes through changes, right? And I know that I've mentioned that to Melissa. And Melissa is very pragmatic, very process-oriented, but she's also, I think, coming into her own, like, in a different rate, in a different way. But hearing her talk about seasons and hearing how she's accepting that now as no longer like a woo-woo concept, but something that, yeah, she can see that it happens in her own business and her own life as well. It's just very interesting how, ideas go from one person to another. And I'm sure somebody shared seasons with Angie, and that probably hit her at a time and place where she needed that guidance. So anyways, I'm excited, still on the vision of impacting, helping 1 million business owners. Super excited about that. I'm back. I'm at it. And I'm just so thankful to have you all here on this journey with me. You have no idea. Every single comment, every single email, every single social media mention or post or comment that you send me, it fuels me. I had my first, I will also say that I had my first, I think, troll, this week, which was kind of fun. I realized that I was like, this is my first troll. Like not somebody who was trying to sell me advertising, but somebody who said something pretty derogatory about something that I blocked their comment. So, I actually experienced a sense of joy in realizing I had my first troll, as well. So anyways, it's been a week of, return, awareness, recognition, redefinition. There's a lot of re's this week, but I'm super excited to be here. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Again, that really helps me out. Not going to go into like why, but my publisher likes that, so it would be very helpful if you did that. Yeah, and just stay tuned. I'll be back next week with another update like this. And let me know if you have any questions, any comments, anything you'd like me to talk about. I am just sharing some behind the scenes from my own life and from my own business, but I'm also open to, if you have an idea about something, I'd love to hear it. So just hit me up. Thanks again for watching, and I'll be back next week.